Hi, it's Albert, and we're doing an interview for Gusto Gamers with one and only Snute. It's great to have you, man. I was really looking forward for this interview because everybody from who knew you and who still know you from the who played with you in Ministry of Wind were kind of expecting you to actually advance the bracket, and we're calling you right now one of the best zergs, even better than Nerchio. You obviously that's true. You're now 3-0 in group stage number 2. You advanced to the bracket final. How do you feel, man? Because it must be something, I don't know, were you expecting to actually advance that far, to go that far?
I was expecting to get into the playoffs. That was my goal for this event, and I expected to get that far. I also feel that I was a little bit lucky with the groups. I didn't get Nerchio and I didn't get Sage. So in that regard, I was very happy, and I'm also quite confident in both my CVC and CVT, really. So I think it was a bit lucky that I didn't get Nerchio or Sage, but yeah, I'm happy to advance. That was my goal.
You said to me before we talked that you were like, okay, it's easy after you took the game 1, then you lost one of your first games, and then you said you have to win, and then you went 3-0 in your group stage number 2 because we were talking about it. Why did you slip for that one game? Because the motivation went down because you thought that it's just going to be an easy ride for you?
Yeah, that was the game against Tarzan. But I should never be thinking like that. I don't know why I didn't do my best in the second game. I was just feeling a bit lazy. I felt like the first game was a bit too easy, and then I slacked back. But I should never do that. And yeah, I'll stay focused for the next games in the remainder of this tournament, because I cannot afford to lose games like that.
That's true. But so it does actually, whenever someone says that you have to be motivated and you cannot underestimate your players,
exactly.
underestimate your opponents. You have to practice. Listen, the thing that it's like you and Cytoplasm, both you and Cytoplasm, where you were great before. Then you joined Ministry of Wind, and then you had an amazing run during DreamHack. Then you had an amazing run during MLG, although you might not consider it being a good run, but apparently, according to Mattis, according to other players that I've talked to, it was something. Mattis told me, but I don't know if that's true. During MLG, you were kind of stressed.
Yeah, big time. I was really nervous. It's probably the point in my career where my mindset has been the worst, I think. I was a bit, first of all, I was a bit nervous. Playing on such a big stage, I wasn't used to it, and I also felt that since I had improved so much, and the same goes for DreamHack Summer as well, I feel like I was really happy to be able to get to MLG in the first place. But yeah, I put too much pressure and expectations on myself because of my recent improvements, because I made it to IPL 5 as the European regional winner.
Satellites or qualifiers?
No, it was the first big region qualifier with a paid trip and everything. And after that, I started to put too much pressure on myself, and it really completely devastated my performance, both at DreamHack Summer and the MLG Summer Arena. But after that, I took a break, went to Korea, and since then I've been just going back to my roots, focusing on the game, playing for fun, and yeah.
You said you went to Korea, and this is the topic that I was interviewing a lot of players today, and some of them told me that they don't really want to go to Korea because they don't feel like it's necessary for them to go there, or they don't want to go there because they wouldn't feel comfortable staying there for like a long period of time. So how about you? Do you feel like Korea was another like breaking point in your career that helped you to improve your skill or your mindset, or I don't know, certain games even, or was it like just a small break, a new trip to something that you haven't really discovered before, and it was new to you that you have to get used to, and then I don't know, have fun by staying there? Or was it more like a trip for you, or more like a...
It was a combination. I was traveling with some friends that were going there for vacation, but they also wanted to play a little bit, so our goals were the same. I felt like I wanted to have some fun with the game and try to fix my kind of broken mindset, and at the same time practice. So I took a few days. First half of the trip was we went some places like tourists, just relaxed and chilled out, and also played a little bit. And then in the later half of my vacation, so to speak, then I practiced really hard on the LAN cafes and got into Grandmaster and kept on practicing. And yeah, no, it was because for me it was kind of both vacation and it was also to practice. And yeah,
you did both and it actually paid off in the end?
Yeah, it really paid off because when I played on the Korean server, there were no people who knew who I was and there would be no expectations, nothing like that. I just had to go there and play my best and, you know, no BM, very nice server, very high level. So I could just focus on only the game and focus on having fun. I was there with my friends and yeah, the mood was just great and it really helped me get back to a proper mindset. So now I just feel fantastic.
Would you consider coming back to Korea and practicing, maybe not even on ladder, but maybe staying at
I would love to, but as of now, I don't have any connections to the pro gaming houses there, so I don't really have a place to stay. The way that I did it with this vacation was that we stayed at cheap hotels and then went to PC cafes, and I brought my hard drive and with StarCraft on it and everything. But I would really like to go back to Korea later, like maybe after IPL 5 in November, like sometime around winter, maybe to compete in the GSL. In that case, I can stay in the GomTV house.
Yeah.
So that's a possibility, going there for GSL season 5 if the dates fit. But I need to do some research and see if it's possible.
The thing again that I want to talk to with you is Ministry of Win, because many people say, I don't know how you feel about it, but many people say that in general, Ministry of Win help you immensely in upgrading your skill, kind of, in upgrading your. No, I don't think it's a mindset, but the way you approach the game. And after you left Ministry of Win, you just had you started to become more and more successful as a StarCraft 2 player. Is MOF a Ministry of Win really that good, or is it just, you know, time that you spent practicing and then just kept on with your positive attitude towards StarCraft 2?
The practice helped a lot, and the reason for my success after the Ministry of Win was simply because my mindset improved. So the Ministry of Win helped me build up like lots of skill through the practice that I had there, and I feel like it was really great. And but yeah, I got too high expectations to myself, like I said.
Yeah.
And after I fixed my mindset, then everything was just perfect. I've been practicing so much, and now I feel good. So now everything is great, and I feel like the Ministry of Win definitely has been helping me to achieve this level.
And what if were you even considering coming back for another month, 2-3 months of time?
Maybe. But only time will tell, because things happen really fast in esports. Maybe I will go to Korea really soon. Yeah. I got like tons of tournaments coming up. I have to travel back to Norway to play some tournaments there, and you know, that
was also the main reason you actually left Ministry of Win at some point, right?
No, because that was to go to Korea.
Yeah, but then you had like those trips besides Korea, or was it just purely?
No, first there was the WCS in Sweden, and immediately after I went to Korea. Like in WCS, I did really poorly. I lost and ended up at 4th place, which was kind of unexpected for the Norwegian community and everyone. Lots of people expected me to win, and I expected myself to win, exactly. But after the WCS, I just realized, okay, I need to put this stuff aside, this mental barrier, and just go somewhere else and get things fixed. And I did.
If it actually paid off, yeah, and it tells, because you've been constantly improving. Like every single tournament that you've been playing ever since leaving MOF, Ministry of Win, then going to Korea, and then every single tournament is even better and it's getting better and better. Do you feel like IPL is top 8 or even top 3 is possible?
I would say top 8 is possible, but the competition at IPL is so high. I still struggle with the top 50 Korean, you know, when I was playing ladder there, I couldn't really defeat like the top 50 Korean Terrans. So I still have a long way to go, but if I could make it to top 8 in IPL, that would be totally amazing.
Yeah, because IPL, I don't know how you feel about it, but I felt like IPL 3, for example, where Stefano took his first big international win, was an amazing event, both thanks to their production and then because of the lineup. Then we had a couple of MLGs, but MLG kind of, for me personally, it's been deteriorating kind of with the players that have been participating, and then IPL is coming as the new kind of a titan of esports in the North America, considering their lineup, the amount of eliminations, because you don't really get any open brackets during IPL. All you have is people who qualified there through really hard brackets, even if you played against, let's call them a bit weaker players, that you still have to beat a few friends of yours probably, who you met on ladder, who you know. Is IPL possibly becoming the new MLG, the new improved MLG? Skill-wise?
I don't know for sure. I haven't really been following those tournaments. I've only been watching the games.
Yeah.
But I think having lots of qualifiers and especially announcing the qualifiers and making them accessible for a lot of players will drastically help improve the level of tournaments, like fewer invites, more qualifiers, and just having plenty of qualifiers even with multiple stages is okay. I think that will help create better tournaments, and I don't know about the IPL versus MLG, but I think if you want to have a really stacked tournament, then you should have lots of qualifiers, and especially make sure that everyone in the scene knows about these qualifiers, because a lot of events struggle with having players actually participate in these qualifiers, like the European qualifier I know for IPL 5, the one I won, and the MLG Summer Arena didn't really have that many players. So it's really important to find some way to get in touch with these players actively, and put in a lot of effort to make sure that everyone hears about it, because there's a lot of pro gamers out there I know that tend to miss these qualifiers
because they don't really
because
know.
they didn't really know about them in advance. And there's a lot of content, there's a lot of tournaments, and pro gamers try to follow everything, but sometimes it's a little bit difficult. And if you want a good tournament, then you need to make it accessible to a lot of people, and you need to announce it properly in advance.
No, we still have time, which is good.
Sure.
A few more minutes. Listen, now coming back to our event, Battle at Ministry of Wind by Outplayed. You're in the bracket. Who do you think will join you at this point? Because we will be uploading this interview pretty soon, before Group C and D will finish. Who do you think will join you and Fuser and two other players in the bracket right now?
I think the favorites for this tournament are Nergio and Sage.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to answer, I guess. I think those two are the ones that for sure will make it to top 4 or the finals. So those are the ones I expect to advance.
Also, I think because of this is my personal preference, and being Polish and having many Polish players here that you also played against. Do you feel like besides our top tier competitors like Mana, who's now in Codas, like Nerdshow, probably like Tarsen, because Tarsen is one of the most known, one of the most famous Polish players at the moment. Do we have any other who can compete at the highest level after maybe, I don't know, having participated in more and more tournaments or practicing?
I feel like there are some players with a lot of potential. Zazu has always had some really scary CVC. Matis is doing quite well, and I feel like a lot of the Polish zergs in general are quite good. So I don't know, I feel like the Polish community in general, they are quite good, but maybe they just need a little bit more practice or a little bit more experience to make it to the top. Obviously Nercho is the best, and Mana is also one of the best players in Poland. But I feel like Poland is really strong in general when it comes to StarCraft 2.
Because Poland is like one of those countries that we actually managed to get those few known players, but for example in Norway it's completely opposite. You don't really have that many famous players in general, and it's not only about StarCraft, but for example you had only one really good Warcraft 3 player. You had very few, for example, Counter-Strike players that actually made it to the top tier teams. Why is, for example, is Norway even interested in esports? How does it look in your country? Because Sweden is big in esports, but Norway, what about Norway?
There is very little interest in esports in Norway from the mainstream. So Sweden is doing great, Norway is doing terrible. But there are some people who try, individuals and small groups that really want to support esports. So compared to how it was before, it's improving, but we cannot keep up to Sweden with the current pace we have. So we need to step it up, I feel. And as for why there are so few players that become successful, like obviously it's a bit random. You have some talents, you have some good people, but in general, it's a lot about the way the Norwegian system works. Like you can earn a lot of money from having a normal job. People prioritize studying, going to school, university. So in general, it's just we don't have that many people that really commit to esports. So in order for that to change, I think we need even more teams, even more sponsors, even more public attention to make this grow. But yeah, it's gonna take some time. But since I know the Norwegian scene a bit, I know that there are more and more players who are considering going full time because they see that it works to some extent. I can survive right now as a Norwegian esports player. So I think it's a matter of time, but at the same time we also need to catch up to Sweden because Norway is a great country. We have so much potential for hosting events and we have big arenas.
And you have money. That's very important. Norway
exactly,
has a lot
we
of
have
money.
so much money, and skiing, soccer, those things are like so big in Norway. And I would believe that there's room for esports to fall under that category as well, have sponsors and getting a lot of attention because we have so many people playing games, so many. I don't know anyone who's not at my age, for example, who's not interested in computers or or gaming, or everyone is using a computer, right? And a lot of those people I know do play games casually, or so I hope it's just a matter of time. But I also want to reach out to potential Norwegian sponsors listening to this because there's a lot of potential. Just look at Sweden, it's working, it's growing, and there's no reason that Norway will not be like this.
You're about to cast the game, and I don't really know what is your approach, or in general, because you probably talk to a lot of players, and it's been more recent that you players participate and cast games together with those so-called professional casters on different tournaments. Is it a good step forward for esports, like to have actually, instead of having an analytical caster that's not always right, is it better to have an actual player who has a good insight, or should casting and watching esports still be more play-by-play, more casual friendly kind of way of exposing esports on television, for example, or radios?
I think the analytical
casters, do you even like casting?
I don't know. It's fun to do some casting.
Yeah.
So I don't mind like casting once in a while. It's it's okay to be on the other side for once. But I think just from looking at the community, a lot of credit to the community actually growing is attributed to the casters that are popular and make this. I do think like casters like Day9 have had a huge influence and bring in people that otherwise wouldn't have been interested in this. So yeah, I don't really want to go too much into how important it is with analytical casting and play-by-play and all those kind of things. I believe that for a tournament it's good to have a mix. One play-by-play caster with an interesting and cheerful personality, and obviously if you have game knowledge, that's perfect, of course. Like Homestory Cup is a really good example of how I think it can be done with players actually casting themselves and with some professional casters on the side. So I don't know, it's a difficult question.
Would you consider, for example, this event, the Ministry of Win event, somehow, is it comparable with Homestory Cup? I'm not saying in production value, for example, because I know for a fact that it's our first event. It's so we're working on it. But Is it some because it's almost like Home Story Cup? You have pretty much players and that's it. Players and production. That's all you have. You have just me as a media coverage here, but then on the other hand, you have a few people who join us from the scene, just who thought it would be cool to hang out with, I don't know, with you as a player or with us in our backyard. Is Home Story Cup or this kind of event, is it better for you as a player? Do you consider it more fun, or you prefer big events like MLG, where you have dozens of players, thousands of fans who can cheer for you and who can just pat you in the back when you have a bad day and say that you're amazing and that you should just fight till the end?
There are pros and cons of every type of event. Like this type of event is obviously quite relaxed. There's not like you are playing on a big stage, but it's also really fun to be playing on a big stage. So there's ups and downs about every different event. So I don't really know. Personally, I like to be in this relaxed setting. I actually don't think I've been playing on main stage in a booth, so I guess I can't really relate to how it is. But I've been to MLG that's also kind of relaxed, since it's a closed area with the players and we can talk to each other. But I definitely prefer this type of closed event compared to events like where you sit in an open space with lots of noise around you and players or people watching you from behind you, and but that's a bit that had a little bit to do with my mindset, because I easily got nervous if people were watching me in those type of settings. So I'm not sure how I would feel about it right now, but I don't know. I do enjoy all types of events. Home Story, this place, and MLG was also nice, and DreamHacks, for example. Yeah.
That's pretty much about it.
And no matter what event you go to, it's usually enjoyable. If the computers work, if you can live with the noise, and if the food is good, the better. Many different factors.
Yeah.
But
that's pretty
it's
much
nice.
About it. Listen, I really, really, really thank you for your time. It was awesome to chat with you. I know that you're getting ready to cast some games. I want to thank you. I want to wish you good luck.